Guys, I'm really excited that we have two clients that have been in our mortgage reduction program that have joined us tonight. We have Debra and Brendan Clarke. So thank you both of you for joining us to share what your experience with the mortgage reduction program has been like. I think we met around about just a little over a year ago. Was it the end of 2019? I think it was when we first met, didn't we?
Yeah, we've been a year and a half now, I think.
Yeah, and Brendan, you're a storeman, is that correct?
Yes.
And Debra, you're I believe it's an integration coordinator. What does that mean? What do you actually do?
Everything. I'm working on projects at the moment, so sort of managing projects more so.
Okay. All right. Just
communication.
keeping everything together and making sure it all moves along.
Yeah, that's it. Just making people do what they're meant to do.
Cool. So can you give me a little bit of a rundown on what things were like when you first met us, financially, sort of where were you at when you first met us?
When we first met you, we had about 7 credit cards and just living pay packet to pay packet and basically getting nowhere and not getting anything done around the house.
Okay. And do you remember how much your mortgage was at that time?
It was about $275.
Okay. And I think the total amount of debts that you have sort of was around that $310,000.
Yeah, about 90 in credit cards, I think.
Yeah. And how long did you have left on your mortgage when you first met us?
I think we had, what was it? It was 30. We'd refinanced so many times, I can't remember now, but I think we still had at least 20 years to go. Yeah,
so I think that you get on that sort of treadmill or hamster wheel, whatever you want to call it, of refinancing, but it's not always the right solution, is it, to get ahead? Like, I think banks often sell that as a solution, but it's not really, because you refinance and then all of a sudden, oh my goodness, I've still got 30 years left.
Yeah.
I think that's a not a trap, but I just think it's just people has lack of knowledge. You don't think about that. I think that's would you sort of agree that was your mindset around it as well? Yeah,
I guess we thought that was the best way of doing it back then, but we never, like, we had tried to do this before with another way, but it was sold properly different to us.
Right. So basically, I think when you joined the mortgage reduction program, we basically said that you were going to be able to take that mortgage and cut, I think it was just over 20 years off it. Is that right? And you're going to be able to pay that off in how many years did we say that you were going to pay that off in now?
In about 6 years.
About 6 years. So we've gone from 20 odd years down to about 6 years. And if I remember correctly, I think the total savings were about, it was like about $260,000 in interest. Does that sound about right to you? Yeah. So you're on track. You're meeting the predictions of hitting that 6 to 7 year mark after being in the program for about 12, 18 months now?
Yeah, I think so. We may just go over a little bit because we have been a little bit bad.
Hey, you've got to treat yourself along the way, I think. Did you actually, having been on the program, so a really good question actually, having been on the program, did you find that you had to change your lifestyle? Did you have to spend less? Did you have to eat noodles, live off baked beans?
We just changed the way we spend. So we're more vigilant on how we spend now.
More conscious.
Yeah. gave you an understanding of where your money was actually going.
Yeah, well, we figured out how we can actually still make it work and still get things that we need.
Great. So having been in the program for the 12, 18 months that you have, what difference has that made to your current financial situation?
Great. We've actually got money in the bank. We've fixed things that we couldn't afford to fix. We've renovated items at home and we're still doing that.
Awesome.
But we just know that we have to split it out over time, not go and splurge in one hit.
Yeah. So when you first met us and we told you that we could take your 20, 30-year mortgage and get it down to being paid off in 6, 7, 8 years, what did you actually think when we told you that?
Brendan was all gung-ho for it and I didn't believe a word of it.
Yeah, yeah.
I was still very anti until probably a year, or, you know, we were in it 6 months, then I started to think this is going to work.
Yeah, great. And what do you, if there was somebody out there listening now to us, what would your recommendations be to them?
I would say give it a go.
Do it.
Just do it. It definitely works.
Yeah.
You do like if you do I guess because you know someone's watching what you're spending, you know, like they don't come in and say anything unless you do the wrong thing, but it makes you more aware of what you're doing.
Okay.
And someone else managing it, so it's not as stressful either.
Okay. So do you think you would have been able to do this without the level of support from Credit Connection?
No.
Okay. So what difference is it? What difference did Credit Connection make? So what have they done specifically to help you get into the position that you're in now, do you think?
Because I look after finance mostly, wholly and solely paperwork.
The Minister of Finance, yes.
It's just nice to have someone else take over and just help take the burden away and tell you what you needed to do.
Yeah, yeah. And do you feel like you're more educated about money now? Do you look at money differently now to what you did before?
We still do things, but I guess I don't splurge as much like we used to. Like if we wanted to do something, we just find the money somewhere and do it, like credit cards.
Yeah.
Now we don't. We go, okay, we can do this month, this next month. And doing that budget thing for a year showed us what we spend too much on.
Yeah, it's really powerful, isn't it? Because I think one of the things that surprise most people when they come in is they've got no idea exactly where their money's actually going. So I think that's one of the big things that people learn from being in the program.
Yeah, ours was just we'd borrow the money to do stuff, where now we don't do that. We wait until we've got it and then do it.
Yeah, awesome. Best way to be. And the great thing is that you are able to build up that savings. You are able to have that nest egg there for whatever it is that you want to do, you know, if it's renovations around the house or anything like that. And I guess the other thing that this does is, I mean, I was reading your notes earlier, and I think the original prediction is that if you didn't do this, you would have been paying your house off until you were in your mid-80s. Whereas now you're going to be, you know, around 60 by the time that you get it paid off. So well and truly before you get to retirement. So
man,
that is so great. That is, and good on you too. Like, congratulations to both of you, because, you know, it does take a leap of faith, and then there is some discipline required around doing the things that needed to be done, but you've done it. So, and I, you know, it's not difficult. I don't think you'd call it a complicated system, would you?
No, the only problem we have is we still have that last week before the credit card's paid off. We've still got to learn to figure that out.
Hi, look, you've made some very, very big strides in 2020, and I think you should both be patting yourselves on the back. And I get a real thrill when I get to, you know, sit with the team and we go over everybody's individual results and just see where everybody's up to. So this is a great result. You know, I think that you, like a lot of every other, you know, hardworking, everyday Australians, we just, you know, feel like we're on the treadmill or the hamster wheel, as I like to call it. And sometimes you just don't feel like you can ever get off the damn thing. And I just think this is a really great program to help people do that. So I really want to congratulate both of you. And I also want to say thank you very much for spending the time to have a little chat to us tonight. And I really look forward to seeing the results in the next 12 months. So congratulations, both of you, and thank you very much.